So if you look at this particular question, okay, look at this question. Yeah. So even before we work on the entire text, it is basically the first thing that we need to do is we need to understand the main question, right? Like what is it asking you for? So it says which choice best states the main idea of the text. So this is a question which is basically asking you to find out the central idea, right?
Yes.
So how would you find out the central idea of this text? What would be your approach to work on the central idea? How do we generally, find out the central idea or or the main idea or the main theme of the entire paragraph? How do we do that? What did you do in order to find out the central idea? Did you go through the entire text?
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
We
Yeah.
should read the text.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
So the main idea, I mean, if you have to find out the main idea from this text, then ideally what you have to do is you have to work on every sentence, the idea that is provided by every sentence. You not only have to find out what every sentence talks about, you also have to do the connections, right? Connecting one idea with the next one. So if we look at the first sentence, it says for centuries, the widespread acknowledgement of the involvement of the cerebellum, a dense brain structure in vertebrates and coordinating motor control in humans, has hindered recognition for other possible functions. So the first, what is the idea that we are getting from the first sentence of the text?
So what is cerebellum? Function of it? Like,
What? Little bit louder, Laukia. I cannot hear you properly.
okay.
Yeah. What is the what is the idea that
about,
you're getting from the first sentence?
About the cerebellum, ma'am. Like,
What about the cerebellum? You have to be more concise and precise. See, if you look
ma'am,
at the, yeah, please go ahead, please.
the involvement of cerebellum in coordinating motors of control in humans. I mean, moderating motor control.
Okay. See, now there is something, there is a widely accepted belief. And what is that widely accepted belief? There's the use of cerebellum in coordinating motor control in humans.
Okay.
Right? Which means that if you look at the first sentence, it kind of says that cerebellum has the primary function of coordinating motor control in humans, right? And there's a widespread belief that because the cerebellum is coordinating the motor control in humans, that is why, it has disrupted or interfered or blocked its recognition for the other possible functions of the structure. So there are probably many other functions, there are probably many other purposes that the cerebellum is serving. But because we are focusing more on how it is coordinating the motor control in humans, so we are overlooking or marginalizing the other functions. Yeah, that is what we understand from the first sentence. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
What about the second sentence? Can you tell me what is the idea that you're getting in the second sentence?
The neuroscience research that is going from last 2 decades says that the cerebellum regulates emotion and social behavior.
Yeah. What is the second sentence talking about, or what is the idea that you're getting from the second sentence? See, the second sentence is telling you that neuroscience research from the last 2 decades now suggests that the cerebellum regulates emotion and social behavior, right? So earlier
Yes.
it was believed, or it was widely accepted, that cerebellum is involved only in coordinating motor control. But now
Yes.
neuroscience research has shown that it is also helpful in regulating all this. This is a second
Yes.
function that is identified.
Yeah.
Okay, look at the second part. And recent research by this and colleagues has identified a pathway connecting the cerebellum to a center of motivation and reward processing. Some more functions.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's right.
So this
Yeah.
particular sentence, this idea is basically trying to come up with the fact that, see, yes, earlier there was a widespread belief that cerebellum was involved in coordinating motor control functions, and that is why, you know, all the other functions were kind of overlooked or ignored. But then there has been a lot of neuroscience research, and there has been a lot of recent research done by other scientists, and they have found out that there are various other functions in which cerebellum is involved, right? Like, you know,
Yes.
regulating emotional and social behavior. It also acts as a center for motivation. It acts as, you know, reward processing, etc. So now, so
Yes.
what did we do? We basically connected. We
Yeah.
tried to find out the story or the theme or the plot, you know, which is hidden in these two lines. Now we are going to the options or the choices, and we are basically trying to find out that which choice works. Now you have to tell me
Okay.
that which is choice A. Does that work? If
Uh,
yes, why? If no, why not?
okay.
Can we consider choice A?
Mm, no, ma'am.
Why no? Because it's opposite. See, long suspected role in motor coordination. In fact, this
Yes.
was done much earlier only, right?
Yes, ma'am.
The
Yeah.
verification of a pathway between BTA and the cerebellum, this does not confirm the long suspected role in motor coordination. The long suspected
Mm,
role in motor coordination is something which was a widely accepted belief. It was already there.
yes. Yes.
The
Yes.
identification of the new pathway has basically helped in finding out how cerebellum is acting as a center for motivation and reward processing, right?
Yes.
So this is
Yeah.
wrong. We can strike it off. Okay. What about choice B? Choice B. What is wrong with choice B?
Because it says a pathway connecting the VTA and the cerebellum, but in the text they're given that the pathway connecting the cerebellum and the center of emotions.
This part is wrong, you know, challenged
Yeah.
widely accepted claims about the function of a pathway connecting the VTA and the cerebellum. Yes, there
Yes,
was
ma'am.
a widely accepted claim. What was that widely accepted claim? That cerebellum is only responsible for coordinating motor control in humans, and there are no other possible functions. That was the widely accepted claim. And the second
Yeah.
idea, especially this pathway which has been identified, this is challenging this one. This wide belief that, you know, it was only doing coordinating of motor control and there was no other function. Am I clear?
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay, so this is struck off and this part is wrong.
Yes.
Okay, what about choice C? C for Canada. Can C be the right choice?
No, ma'am.
Why can't C be the answer?
Because in the text they didn't mention about technological limitations. So yeah.
You're right. So technological limitations have historically hindered the study. No, we don't know about this. I mean, no, there's no piece of information about whether there were technological limitations because of which further study and deeper study of the cerebellum could not be done. Right? So we
Yes.
strike off C. If you look at DD for Delhi, the cerebellum has primarily been thought to regulate motor functioning. This is the first sentence. Remember? First sentence.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Yes.
This is idea one. See, it's there
Yes.
over here. This part talks about that. Idea
Yes.
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you look at, but in recent years, neuroscience researchers have been uncovering additional functions. This is idea two.
Yes.
Okay. The additional functions are emotional and social regulating emotional and social behavior, acting as center for motivation, reward processing. Perfect. Got it. So this is my
Yes.
idea too. So the answer has to
Oh,
be choice D.
yes.
Yes. So this
Yes.
is how, you have to work on central idea questions when it comes to your central idea questions in your digital SPT. Remember, when it comes
Oh,
to your central idea questions, we are reading the text thoroughly. We are also creating these connections the way I did. See, I'm underlining,
oh,
I'm circling. At the same time, I'm trying to draw this connection between the two ideas, right? That, okay, one
yes.
function was what they were doing. And because of this, all the other functions were overlooked or marginalized. And then gradually, they moved on to the second idea, wherein they are saying that it's regulating emotions. So the other functions are also uncovered or revealed right now. This is how you'll become sure. And every answer or every choice that you're eliminating has to be done on a perfect ground. There has to be a ground.
Oh,
Okay, like
oh,
look at this. See, this part is wrong. So I've
yes.
crossed this. For this option, this part is wrong. I've crossed it. For this option, technological limitations is wrong. I've crossed this. Am I clear? So
Yes.
why you are eliminating, that is important. Why you are choosing, that is important. Why am I choosing option or choice D? Because this entire thing is basically mentioned.
Yes.
Right? The first part, idea one, is something that we get from the first sentence. The second idea two is something that we are getting from the second sentence. Am I clear now
Yes.
here? Yeah?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Okay, perfect then.